Every carrier out there has device network unlock policies. Every carrier does. Why? Well, I'm going to explain why in this video today. The reason why is because they tend to put devices for sale, like have some really good sales, to bait customers over to them, to sign up with them, to port in with them. So they have all these great sales, but nothing's really a guarantee, right? So they have to have some sort of safety net in place to make sure people don't just come to them to get the phone at a cheaper price. Because people do that. Whether an iPhone 17 is cheaper on T-Mobile, but the customer prefers to be on AT&T, if they didn't have any unlock policies, if they didn't network lock devices, somebody can go to T-Mobile and get their phone cheaper, like the iPhone 17 or the Pixel 10. They'll get it cheaper on T-Mobile, and then just go back to AT&T and just activate it on AT&T. T-Mobile takes a loss. So that's why they network lock devices. If you don't like that and you hate that, I would strongly suggest don't buy from carriers, because then you're going to experience this. Now, out of all the carriers out there, Boost Mobile is the one with the most confusion. So in today's video, I wanted to kind of go over that. And that's why I have the policy right there. And I'm just going to go over it vaguely. If you want to check it out, I'll put the link in the description so you guys can pull it up for yourselves and read it line by line. But the reason why Boost Mobile is so confusing is because there are two different types of unlock policies. One pertaining to postpaid and one pertaining to prepaid. There is a third option, and that's a little bit different, but I'll get into that at the end, as well as some other things that people are talking about. Should they try this to get their phone unlocked? And I will tell you if it would work or would not work. So keep it locked, smash the like button, hit the hype button, and share this on your favorite social platforms. And if you just subscribed, appreciate you for doing that. Turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a video upload or when I go live. So I'm gonna full screen this for you guys here real quickly. I'm not gonna read it line by line, but we're gonna start, since I've already explained what a device locked, the network locked and unlocking is, we'll start off with postpaid. So Boost says if you purchase a postpaid device from them, whether financing or paid in full price, your device can be eligible for unlock. Now, the difference between those two is that if you're financing a device with them, you have to pay off the device. So if you financed a device 3 months ago, but you're like, screw it, I want to unlock it. Well, whatever the remaining balance is of your financial agreement for that phone, you have to pay that off. And then once you pay it off, it makes it eligible for unlock. 48 hours from that point that you've paid it off, they should be unlocking your phone. Now, it's not a guarantee that they will do it, because I've heard people complain, like, I paid off my phone last week and it's still not network unlocked. There could be issues, glitches, and things like that. So plan ahead, okay? And just don't cling on to the 48 hours, right? Because not everything works perfectly. You yourself know you don't make everything perfectly, so don't expect it from, a company. They always have glitches. I don't know why. But anyways, yes. Now, if you buy the phone at full price, so say you go to Boost Mobile, you sign up for services, you buy the new iPhone 17, the iPhone 17, $799, let's say, full price, and you paid for that phone. Well, that phone is immediately eligible for device network unlocking, so they will automatically be ready to unlock the device as soon as your phone is activated on Boost Mobile. They'll begin the process of unlocking it, and your device will be unlocked remotely. Now, there are some phones that don't get unlocked remotely, and they require a PIN code. Boost will email you if your device is one of those types of phones and the instructions on how to unlock your device, along with the PIN code to network unlock it. So that's postpaid. Now, how do you know if you're postpaid? Very simple. If your bill starts, say, October 1st, and the last day of your bill cycle is October 30th, and then a bill generates on the 30th, and it's due on November 10th or November 11th, whatever day may be due on, technically, that's postpaid, because you're using the services first, and then you're paying for the services you used after you've already used it. So now comes the second part of the policy, and this pertains to prepaid. Now, how do you know if you're on prepaid? Well, if you can't use Boost Mobile services unless you pay for the plan first, and then the services are available to you, that's prepaid. Plus two, prepaid does not require to run your credit. Postpaid does. So that's the other telltale sign whether you're on postpaid or prepaid, is that if they initially took your information for a credit check, that's postpaid. They didn't at all. That's prepaid. With prepaid devices, basically they are eligible for unlocking 1 year after initial activation, after a reasonable time, and after you have met all payment and usage requirements. Most of the devices will be remotely unlocked, so you don't have to do anything. They will begin the unlocking process once it becomes eligible, and your device should be unlocked within 48 hours to possibly even longer, depending if there's glitches. However, this is done through a signal that the phone receives through the data, and it unlocks to accept any other service provider's SIM card. Now, the verbiage there that may have people a little bit odd is the, reasonable time, payment, or usage requirements. Well, this is what they mean by it. So what they mean is no prepaid device balance. So if you have financed your prepaid device, because you can also finance prepaid phones from Boost Mobile. You don't have to be postpaid only to finance. But if you got a device on prepaid with Boost Mobile and you're financing it, you would have to pay that phone off. So that's what it means by that. The prepaid device balance must be paid off in full before it's eligible for unlocking. Account must be active. If your account is in suspended status 1 year post initial activation, your prepaid device will not be eligible for unlocking until it is out of suspended status. So you can't go and buy a phone from Boost Mobile and then use the services for 30 days and then put the phone in a drawer for another 11 months and then call them and be like, unlock my phone. It has to have an active account in order for them to unlock it. So you must have that. And it must not already be unlocked. Now, there's instances where they do device network unlock. If you're traveling overseas and you're traveling, they may just do a complete, network unlock for the phone. And that would get you basically already in device unlock status. Now, I can tell you most of the phones and services out there with Boost Mobile, if you get an international unlock, the domestic lock is still placed. So there's still a lock that doesn't allow Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile to activate on that phone. However, if you use another provider, say from Europe or from Thailand, from Japan, etc., those will work with an international unlock. For the most part, I've seen people that requested international unlock and just got the phone completely unlocked. Like the back office team decided just completely unlock the phone for any SIM. And that's that. So that's what they mean by reasonable time, payment, or usage requirements. So keep that in mind. Now, there's a third option here, and this is regarding military personnel. Boost will unlock a phone if you are an active duty service member in the United States military. What they would need is, the reason that they would unlock the device is, technically able to perform an international SIM unlock to your device. So that would be one way that the device gets unlocked. You or a family member on your account with us is an active member of a branch of the United States military. You or a family member on your account with us has been issued overseas deployment papers. You are a current authenticated Boost Mobile customer, and your account is within good standings. So those are technically the reasons that they would unlock it for military personnel. Now, you're probably like, well, I'll just call Boost Mobile and tell them that I'm in the United States military. What they would need in order for them to unlock your device, so people are not caught off guard, is they would need just a copy of your deployment papers, or like a letter from the base commander where, the base commander could be reached. Of course, I'm pretty sure that the base commander is not going to give out information about military personnel, but anyone who's being deployed should have deployment papers. These papers are what active duty service members show, to say the electric company, the water company, their cell phone service company, to let them know that they're going to be out of the country, in service of the military. And so these are the reasons why either A, they need to suspend something, or B, they need to turn off something, or C, they need to unlock something because they're going to be overseas. So they're given these deployment papers that they're able to issue to service members who can show that to their creditors and debtors, and be able to get the device unlocked. So trying to BS them and saying you're in the military is not going to help you at all whatsoever. Now, other people have said, well, I'll just file an FCC complaint. Well, technically you can. You can give it a try. It would waste everyone's time, but please don't let that stop you. And what I mean by wasting everyone's time is that in the policy itself, it says, especially for the prepaid side, 1 year after activation. Now, if you have a legitimate reason, like say you bought the phone from them, like you bought an iPhone 17 since day one, didn't finance it at all whatsoever, and it's been like 60 days and the phone has not been unlocked, then by all means, file an FCC complaint to kind of push them into resolving the issue and getting your phone unlocked. But if you're on the prepaid side, and you know for a fact you're on the prepaid side, and they can prove you're on the prepaid side, well, then you fall under the 1 year of initial activation policy, and that stands firm. It's on the website, it's in their policy page, and so you can huff and puff to the FCC all you want. The FCC will forward your complaint over to Boost Mobile, and Boost Mobile will forward an exact copy of this unlocked policy back to the FCC, who will email you and let you know that you did not win your case. So doing an FCC thing is not going to help. And there's so many people who's quick to run to the FCC that the FCC now doesn't even carry much weight of a threat to any of the carriers out there. Now it's like just, a snot-nosed brat saying, I'm telling my mommy on you type of thing. They don't care anymore, really. They don't. So yeah. Now, there's other options you can use, like device unlocking services you find on the internet. I would say be careful and be wary of those. Make sure you do your research on the specific one that you're opting to use, because some of them are just scams. Some of them are like, yeah, we'll unlock your iPhone 17 Pro Max for $60. You pay $60. They're like, please give us 48 hours before your device is unlocked. And then all of a sudden you're trying to like reach these people, and then you're getting nothing back. You're ghosted, and they just took your $60. Now you don't have to go to your credit card company or your bank, and you have to file a grievance and try to reverse the charges and everything like that. It's just a whole mess. So make sure that you go to reputable on device unlocking, companies, and they can't guarantee you a device unlock. Like I tried to get them to unlock the Moto G Stylus 5G 2024, and it was like 2 weeks until they came back and said they've tried everything and they can't get it unlocked. So they were like, we can save your money and you can have like a free unlock on another device you get, or we can refund you your money. And I didn't know if I was going to get another phone that needed to be unlocked. So I was like, refund me my money. Because most of the time I buy phones, it's network unlocked. I don't really like to buy from carriers. I bought one on a used Moto G Stylus 2024. I bought one from a person on OfferUp who got the phone from Metro. So in that case point, I really didn't have a choice. I had to try to get it unlocked. And eventually I filed an FCC complaint and won mine, not because Metro bended to my complaint. It was because on the device, when you try to network unlock it and it gives you a synopsis of device unlock eligibility, it said 120 days. Metro was saying, yeah, but after this date, it's 1 year. But the phone kept saying 120. So because the phone said that, they had to honor it. They unlocked it. Had the phone said 1 year, I would have lost my FCC complaint. So the FCC complaint is not a hammer that you can drop to just get your way because you just want the phone unlocked. You still have to abide by the policies, and it would have to be an overstep on the carrier's end that gets it granted to where they have to do it for you. But it's never a guarantee that they will just because you filed a complaint. So that's that. Don't try to lie to the carriers and say you're in the military, because yes, they're going to ask for deployment papers so they can see you are being deployed, and then they will unlock your device. So best case point, if you're on the postpaid side and you've paid off the phone, you're good. You don't got nothing to worry about. If you're on the postpaid side and you finance the phone, you're going to have to pay the rest of the balance off of that phone before they'll network unlock it. And if you're on the prepaid side, it's going to be eligible a year after activation. And the last key point I'm going to say here is why a whole year? Well, they know that the device is going to be obsolete. The next iteration of that phone is coming out, and you may not be interested in moving to a different provider, or they can keep you with them because they're going to be offering that new version, the latest model. And they're like, we got the latest model, stay with us. And you know what? You're a customer, so we're going to give it to you at a discount. And there you go. Little fish biting the hook, getting hooked back in to stay with Boost Mobile. That's why it's a year. They won't do 6 months. They won't do, 60 days like some carriers. A year. So anyways, guys, if that was helpful in any way, let me know in the comment section of the video. Sorry, I'm kind of losing my voice. I think I'm getting sick. I don't know. Weather's changing and everything. It's just so crazy. But I am going to be doing some other, other carriers' unlock policy, reading them on a video and breaking it down for you guys. So yeah, that's it for today's video. You guys definitely are amazing. Love you guys very much. Yeah, just stay cool out there, okay? I'll see you in the next one. As always, Law.